What about my love? Wasn't it enough? Just let me know.
Well, guys, the signs were there. It was the inevitable. Zach Wilson had to be benched for the health and the mental health of the team, because you can't just throw your teammates under the bus. He did nothing to reconcile with his teammates. He could have came in the locker room and said, hey guys, my bad for saying what I said. He didn't say anything. So for the health of the team and him being so young in his career, this move had to be made, and it was an executive decision, and they benched him. Now they got to depend on most likely Joe Flacco to come in, who was actually playing really well this season. They could still make the playoffs, man. I mean, if they're winning with Joe Flacco, they'll be okay. I think they have Mike White as well still there. So I mean, you got the weapons around you, but not to utilize Elijah Moore and a couple other teammates on that team is absolutely insane. So a couple years ago during the draft, when Zach Wilson was coming out, we had said that he's going to be one of the worst quarterbacks. And I know he was 5-2 in his starts this year, but I mean, some of the throws he makes is questionable. Throwing in a triple coverage is almost like Sam Darnold 2.0, to be completely honest with you. And we made a video talking about don't be so enamored by the arm strength of a quarterback throwing without pads, throwing in, with no coverage, with his wide receivers just running go routes the whole time. Like, guys, every single quarterback in the NFL should be able to do that. So this is the type of stuff that drives me absolutely insane when we look at the grand scheme of things. Now, the best teams that Zach Wilson played in the 2020 stint that he had in college was Coastal Carolina. They were ranked 18, in Boise State, who was ranked 21st. And they lost against Coastal Carolina because Grayson McCall was a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. He even stayed one more year in college to show you that he's the guy. They beat UCF in the bowl game, right? So I've been saying this since last year. Jaren Hall is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson was at BYU. He could have really benefited by staying one more year in college, because the schedule that BYU ended up playing the next year, they had almost like a Pac-12 schedule. They started off the year playing Arizona. Then they played number 21 Utah. Then number 19 Arizona State. They played South Florida, who's no joke. I mean, they played Boise State. They played Baylor, who was a Big 12 school. Played Washington State, Virginia. They went to the ACC. Then they ended their year out by playing USC. And they played University of Alabama, Birmingham. They were a ranked team that ended up being 6-5 towards the end of the season. Now, with everything being said there, the three schools that they beat at the beginning of their season, actually the four teams I mentioned, the very first four teams, Arizona, Utah, Arizona State, and South Florida, they beat them in a row. What would have Zach Wilson look like playing those caliber teams? We would never know, because he never wanted to stay in college, and I understand NIL deals and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is the Wolves pulled over everybody's eyes because Zach Wilson could make this throw and that throw, when Jaren Hall, really, who's the quarterback now at BYU, is a better quarterback that won't even get drafted second overall, because this quarterback class is insane. That's if he decides to come out this year. I mean, this is well deserved. You deserve it, Zach. You need to take a seat. And I think what the coaches are doing is saying, going to have to bench him. It's not the fact that we're not looking for him to be the quarterback in the future, but as of right now, it really has thrown things off by saying that it was not the offense's fault why they couldn't push the ball down the field. He did nothing to reconcile with his teammates that we know of. He doesn't show a desire that he actually wants to be a leader of this team. The coaches had to do what they did. The Jets organization had to do what they did. And as much as people want to say the Jets are a dumpster fire, like, at least they're winning this year, and at least Robert Saleh's trying to do the right thing and gather those teammates together. This had to be done, man. So that's kind of my thoughts on everything. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like I said, this is just going to be a quick one for everybody. What crazy news, but hey, I think we're going to talk about it. Come see us tonight, man.